Guiding your successful business to become epic is what I'm all about. I'm Jason. In 2001, I hiked the Appalachian Trail, and this is a bit of a video series that I call Business Lessons from the Appalachian Trail. There's a lot of correlations in what happens with a journey like a through hike of the Appalachian Trail and what happens in business along the way. Today, I'd like to talk about planning and how important that is and some perspective on it. Before we started our Appalachian Trail adventure, we spent, I think it was about 6 or 8 months planning the trip. So planning had several different aspects to it. Part of it was food planning and food prep. Part of it was logistics about where we were going to be and when. Part of it was, what kind of a pace can we expect early on in the trail for how many miles a day that we can hike versus the middle section of the trail versus later on in the trail when we're in really great shape. Part of it was what kind of gear and equipment and those kind of needs we would have. Another aspect was the financial commitment. How much money would we need after making the investment in the equipment when we were on the trail? How much money would we need each week or each month to be comfortable and have what we needed along the way to, stay in a hotel or hostel along the way, maybe purchase a meal here and there. Contingencies. We had to plan some contingencies. If we hadn't gotten to a certain point by a certain time, we had some decisions to make. Or if my hiking partner, my hiking buddy, Spencer, in case something were to happen to him that would take him off the trail, am I going to stay out there, and can I self-sustain my journey the rest of the way if he's not with me? There's a whole lot of different aspects to planning. Now, of course, the plan did not go according to plan exactly, right? But the value of planning is in the planning itself, in the activity of planning and thinking through all those different moving parts and aspects of what's going on, thinking through what can happen out there. In your business, how much time do you invest in planning? I think a great analogy is when we think about a vacation or some travel or an adventure that we want to go on with the family. Let's just say that we want to take a trip to Europe for 3 weeks with the family. How much time do you spend planning that? Most people invest a pretty good chunk of time planning that. Certainly thinking about it and planning different parts of that over several weeks, if not over a few months' time, right? When it comes to business, how much time do you plan for that? How much time do you plan this week for next week? How much time do you plan this month for next month? This quarter for next quarter? This year for next year? What I recommend is an approach where we're disciplined with our planning habit and behavior. So my suggestion to you is to plan tomorrow today. There's a great quote from Jim Rohn. If you're not familiar with Jim Rohn, he's a business and personal development philosopher. He passed away in the early 2000s, I believe it was. Just a brilliant person. And there's a lot of YouTube videos, I might even link a couple in here for you, of him speaking, and he's just a brilliant guy. One of his quotes is, "Don't start the day until you've finished it." And it's the same concept. Don't start the week until you've finished it. What he means by that is we should be disciplined and be in the habit of planning. When we have a clear idea of the outcomes that we need from tomorrow before tomorrow starts, when we wake up in the morning, we've got clarity on what we're going to do, how we're going to accomplish it. We've already thought through the day. Again, life happens. It's not about the plan going according to plan. It's about identifying the 20% out of the 100%, identifying the 20% that will actually move the needle in your business that day with your time, that week with your time. In the next month, what is the 20% that I just absolutely must achieve or accomplish or get the areas I need to get results that will absolutely make the biggest difference and be the most relevant activity for the business moving forward. And we want all of our team members to think the same way, right? So with the Appalachian Trail, going back to that experience, I had on several pieces of paper written out. I think handwriting a lot of things is a great habit. It connects your logical mind a lot more, I guess, with longer term memory. So I had, I don't know how many, maybe 12 or 15 pages, stop by stop, thinking through all these things that we had to guide our approach to the next 6 months of backpacking in the woods together. And we were on that plan probably 20% of the time exactly. But since we had a plan and we knew how to, what our milestones were, what our pace needed to be, we had already thought through our logistics, so we didn't get too slowed down on figuring that stuff out on the way for the first time, thinking through it for the first time. What happened was, instead of us having an experience that was highs and lows and highs and lows, it was a pretty and fairly smooth experience. So in your business, let's think about a roller coaster. I had a client recently say, hey, we need to take our business from feeling like we're on the Exorcist roller coaster, which is up and down and twists and turns all over the place, and be more methodical and plan a business that can be more like a Scooby-Doo children's roller coaster. I thought that was a great analogy. So if your business feels like the Exorcist roller coaster, a lot of that has to do with planning and preparation and positioning your business so that no matter what happens, you have more options as life comes at you. So if you want to talk more about that, please reach out. I'd love to hear your perspective on planning, how that's impacted your life and your business, and I'd also like your input on the video itself. So I'm learning and want to be as effective for you as possible. So I'd love to hear your feedback. All right, go make this the best week ever. Cheers.